Fight of the night tonight was Kamaka versus Kelly. Two performances tonight were Pineda and Verna. $50,000. Congratulations to them.
Dana, before we get into the main event, is there any update on Sean O'Malley yet as far as what his condition is?
He's getting a CAT scan right now.
Okay, fair enough. I guess it's far too early to ask how Daniel Cormier is doing. He made it clear he couldn't speak, or couldn't see, I should say.
Right.
Any idea, you know?
No idea. We're going to get him checked out. The eye looks bad, though. I mean, the eye doesn't look good at all.
Yeah. So let's get your thoughts on the main event. Obviously, a very, very tight fight, you know, all the way through. What were your thoughts on the fight itself?
Yeah, it was an awesome fight. I had it 2-2 going into the last round, and you know, it was the fight I think everybody thought it was going to be. And it was exciting. Both guys, how tough are both of those guys? I mean, both guys got poked in the eye. Both guys got rocked. Both guys, you know, they fought their hearts out, man. It was an incredible heavyweight championship. I was just telling, people were texting me saying that they were in bars and the bars were packed and going crazy. My son, who's going to USD, has a place down there on the beach, and he said people were lined up on the boardwalk looking in his window watching the fight, and so it was one of those. It was one of those heavyweight championship fights that felt big, and you know everybody was watching. It was fun.
Obviously, we're all going to hope that Cormier makes a full recovery and that eye thing is just temporary. But I'm curious. I mean, you came in saying there's no way it's this guy's last fight. You know, with the way things played out now, do you still believe that there's no way that was Cormier's last fight?
Yeah, I think I'll let him do his thing. I'm not going to comment on it.
I guess he's not going to be here tonight. So
yeah.
Did he give you any message, or did he say anything?
No, I didn't talk to him. He walked right out of the octagon, did his interview, and I'm assuming he's on his way to the hospital. Lene? Yeah? Lene? Yes?
Yeah. So you got some information you can't share with us, or?
No. I just think, you know, Cormier, the way that guy is and the competitor that he is, he says, I'm not going out like that. I don't know. That's my prediction.
With the eye poke, does that make it more that way to you, that there was something that maybe you can clearly point to that he was, you know?
Yeah, maybe. But listen, you can't look at the eye poke and, you know, take that away. There were two eye pokes. They both got poked in the eye. And Cormier, that eye was hurt before the poke. Right. We got a big group text that goes on. And I was like, there's something wrong with Cormier's eye. And then he got poked after that. That didn't help. Yeah. But they both got poked. You can't use that as an excuse. Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to matchmake tonight, as usual, but John Jones jumped on Twitter and said, coming to heavyweight, you know, I'll see that title soon. As you sit here, I mean, does that make sense, a heavyweight title fight for John Jones? Or you got Ngannou out there who certainly believes that he's next. I mean, is there something that stands out to you right now as like, this would be the way to go?
Francis is definitely next. I mean, you can't jump over Francis. Francis has been out there destroying everybody. And if you look at how long ago it was that he got that title shot, he's worked his way back. It belongs to Francis Ngannou. But yeah, John Jones going to heavyweight is very interesting.
All right. Just a couple quick ones. We got the Adesanya Costa announcement officially tonight. We got a date. It's a new date. A location was missing on the announcement. Do we know yeah, I know it was probably overlooked by the editing department or something like that. So can you reveal where that's going to take place?
Not yet. I don't know what you guys think, but I predict that's fight of the year. Fight of the year.
Is there any chance it happens here, or are we thinking Fight Island?
I don't know.
All right. That leaves a main event open on September 19th. Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley have both said we're fighting each other on September 19th. Is that main event done? Is that the fight?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's done.
Okay.
If it's not, listen, they're both talking about it on social media, so hopefully it's done.
Nice. And last thing for me, Michael Chandler, kind of a big-name free agent, has said that he wants to come meet with you, wants to meet with the UFC. Is that a guy that you're interested in maybe bringing to the UFC?
I would love to meet with him. Yeah, the guy's earned it, man. I'd love to meet with him.
I don't know. If tonight is Cormier's last fight, how amazing has he been to work with, and what's his legacy like?
The best. I mean, the guy's been the best to work with. He's easy. He wanted to fight everybody. You know, he's willing to do anything. He's a great guy. He's a great ambassador to the sport, and it's been fun. I think my saying he won't retire is me kind of hoping he doesn't retire, you know. But whatever he wants to do, I'm happy for him. If he wants to fight, I'm happy for him. If he wants to retire, I'm really happy for him too.
Do you think the eye poke was the deciding factor, or do you think Miocic was just able to make the enough adjustments to...
I think his eye was hurt before the poke, and the poke definitely didn't help. But you can't look at the poke and say, oh, the poke. Stipe got poked hard too. They both got poked. Sounds weird, but we know what we're talking about here. Yeah, it was weird. They both got poked.
Hard. With John Jones, I know you said in an interview yesterday that you were waiting for a reply from him about the light heavyweight title.
That's the first thing we heard from him right there, is on social media.
That he wants to go to heavyweight?
Yeah.
You say Ngannou's next, so would you rather he defend the title and then move up if he wants to, or do you guys still have negotiations to work out? Because I know things aren't the best between you at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. There isn't anything I'd rather have him do. I mean, the guy either wants to fight or he doesn't. If he wants to fight, he'll let us know, and if he doesn't, he won't.
Thanks, man.
Dana, just in your opinion, what was it that made Cormier such a great fighter? You know, it's like he had a combination of things, but in your mind, what made him great?
Start with his physique. Kidding. You know, the funny thing about Cormier is he's one of those guys that doesn't look like he could be the light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, but man, that guy is tough, gritty. He's got a really good fight IQ. He's good at breaking down his punch. He's tough. He's a tough guy. You know, he stood in there. Look how much bigger Stipe was than him tonight, and he stood in there toe to toe and banged it out with Stipe. This time, the second time, and the first time they fought. When I really realized how good Cormier was and that he was real was when he was in Strikeforce. And it's hilarious is I don't watch any of the competitor stuff. I usually never watch the stuff unless it's a fight that I'm interested in. But I ended up watching that. I remember where I was and what I did the night that I watched that fight. And it was the Josh Barnett fight. And the way that he beat Josh Barnett and what he did to Josh Barnett is when I said, God damn, this guy is really, really good. And that was when I first noticed Daniel Cormier and thought that he was real.
And just to go the other way, you have a young guy like O'Malley who's an ascending star, and he has this happen to him tonight. Guys can go either way when they have this happen. He's overcome some adversity already in his career. But any concern on your part that he's an injury-prone guy, that that something like this physicality may stop him from reaching his full potential?
Yeah, you never know in this sport. You never know what's going to happen. You have some guys that never have injuries. They can come on. Look at Robbie Lawler. I mean, Robbie Lawler's like one of the most durable human beings that I've ever met in my life. Some of the wars that guy's been in. And he's back in the gym on Monday and never has any really serious injuries. And then, you look at a kid like O'Malley. But even a guy like Conor McGregor in the Max Holloway fight, he got injured. And some of our other, stars that were on the rise, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a point in time when I was like, Jesus Christ, another guy just blew his ACL or, needs shoulder surgery or some while there. It was happening to us for a while there.
And then lastly for me, I just want to ask you about Stipe. To a certain degree, because Daniel is such a popular guy and so many people like him, it's almost like Stipe gets overlooked, because everybody's, looking at the first time it was DC trying to, be the double champion. This time, he's going on. And do you think that, Stipe maybe deserves to get some love from the fan base that he hasn't gotten given how much people care for Daniel?
I would disagree with that because I would disagree with that because I'm sorry. Hello? Is that better? When you have a massive fight like tonight, like I said, when I came in here, this thing was big. This thing did really well. It's because it takes two guys to do that. And the reason this fight was so big and so good is because everybody out there absolutely positively knows that the two baddest dudes in the world faced off tonight, and everybody wanted to see who was going to win. I mean, there were, like LeBron James and was tweeting tonight about the fight. You know what I mean? when you have this many people, you know, you got people standing outside somebody's window watching through the window to watch the TV. There's a big fight on TV, and it's because of both guys, not just one.
Dana, Jim Greasehaber, cage side seat back here, please.
Hi.
Can you just talk about what the feel was like in there? This is the biggest fight you guys have had with no fans. So what was that feel like inside the building with no fans in there with these two guys?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way you guys felt. You were nervous, your hands were sweating, your legs were bopping up and down. I mean, and you couldn't wait for the fight to start. It's the same thing, but it's not the same at the same time because of the fans. The place would have been going crazy during that fight, and you miss that. I miss it. I'm sure you guys miss it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but we're missing the fans big time. But still, what a unique, cool experience to be sitting in that room with a handful of people and watch that fight live.
And to be able to put out a product like that for the people watching around the world and not miss a beat and keep doing it all along, what a run this has been for you. I mean, your thoughts, this is a big, big night for you and a big night for the company, but a nice run so far through the pandemic, able to keep going.
It's been amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing, and yeah, I'm having fun. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and this year I had to face a lot of different challenges that I've never faced before, and I like it. I like it. I've had fun through this thing, as sick and demented as that sounds. It's been fun for me.
Biggest challenge you've ever faced?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, so they're right up here. So there are still fights coming up, but this technically caps off the summer for 2020 for the UFC. You guys went to Abu Dhabi, you came back, you've had, you know, change-ups in main events, but you guys kept going. How would you sum up the summer for the UFC in 2020?
Well, not just the summer. I mean, 2020. 2020 has to go down as the shittiest year in the history of the world. But you know, like I said a second ago, I love the challenge of it, and it's been interesting.
Can you just talk a little bit about looking forward to the fall? Obviously, Adesanya and Costa, Gaethje versus Habib is getting a lot of people excited. Just as the boss, you know, just looking forward. How do you feel about everything?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about what's coming up in the fall. We have a ton of fun fights, and like I said, Adesanya versus Costa right now is the fight of the year. I mean, I predict that's going to be an incredibly badass fight.
One last one from me. We were thinking about October's when we would see things like World MMA Awards, and you guys have done a great job coinciding with the Hall of Fame and everything else. As of right now, is there any idea about pushing it back, or could you do like the other award shows have done in recent months and go, you know, virtual with those things if you feel like you want to honor them this year?
Well, the MMA awards aren't mine. That's Fighters Only that does those. I don't know what their plans are, but you know, if they could financially do it, they should do it. And yeah, we're going to do the Hall of Fame this year. We're still going to induct people into the Hall of Fame.
Even if there are no fans, or would you even consider doing it virtual?
Yeah, there's not going to be any fans. I don't see fans happening anytime soon. And I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not even considering fans. You know, what we got going on right now has been perfect. It's been safe, and no need to fuck with this right now. We'll keep doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, all the way over here. So we know that Francis has next in terms of a title shot. John Jones is throwing his name in, and we saw Biggie Boy get back on track tonight. Daniel, in his post-fight interview, said that he didn't want to fight if it were not for a championship. If he does come back, where do you see him kind of in that mix?
He said that tonight?
He did.
I told you. I don't know.
You don't know if he's in the championship mix still, or you don't know where he would fall?
Who would he fight? Stipe?
I guess not.
That it?
Oh, sorry. One more question.
Yeah.
Have you talked to, or is there any interest in Michael Chandler from Bellator?
Yeah, guy just asked me that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said, they said that, I didn't know this, but they told me that he said he wanted to meet. And I said, I'd love to meet with him. That guy's earned it. And yeah, love to talk to him.
Sorry about that.
Dana over here, I got,
Cool.
I got fresh questions.
Yep.
Would y'all go back to Fight Island this year?
Yeah.
Is that in the plans, or is it just an option?
Yes. I said last time we were there, this wouldn't be the last time we were there this year. We will go back to Fight Island. You know, that's any international fight we do has to be done there.
How does it feel to have Fight Island come off the way it do? Because I cover more than one sports, and people are talking about, we thought your boy Dana was crazy, and now they want to do what you do. So how does it feel to set the wave, even though you took all that flack starting off, now everybody want to bite what you do?
Yeah. People have been thinking I'm crazy for a long time, but if you look at what we've done, I don't come out and say I'm going to do something and then not do it. If I say I'm going to do it, we're going to do it. And I knew we'd be first. I knew we'd figure it out. And I mean, when this whole COVID-19 thing started, I was trying to figure out how to build a lab. Literally going to build a lab, and if we had to come up with scientists who could come up with their own COVID-19 testing, I would have. But yeah, that's what we were working on.
And final question, will Stipe, you think Stipe will be more active now that this trilogy's over with, instead of fighting once a year?
Well, I think the reason that Stipe wasn't active before is because he was hurt. I mean, that last fight with Cormier, he won the fight, but he got busted up in that fight. And, he needed to recover and heal, before he took another fight. It's all going to depend on how he is physically after tonight. You go in and fight one of those heavyweight championship fights that these guys have fought in this trilogy, you don't walk out of that thing, 100% healthy.
Would you mind to talk a little bit more about Adesanya against Costa? Why are you so excited for this fight?
Because I think stylistically it's the perfect fight. If you look at the way Costa fights, he puts pressure on you. He stays in your face the whole time. Adesanya likes to stay on the outside and pick you apart. I think that fight's going to be an absolute war. Just stylistically, it matches up really, really well. And both guys are animals. Both guys want this fight really bad. And I think it's going to be fight of the year.
Yeah, my last question. Paulo Costa was talking about maybe having the Ultimate Fighter as a coach with Adesanya. I know it's not going to happen, but did it cross your mind? Did you think about it?
About being a coach for the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, Adesanya and Costa.
We're still figuring out the Ultimate Fighter. The Ultimate Fighter is going to happen this year. We just got to figure it out. And, with all the crazy shit that's going on this year, it sort of put the Ultimate Fighter on the back burner when we were getting ready to do it. And now we're back to talking about pulling it off.
But Costa and Adesanya was your option somehow, somewhere?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he wants to do it really bad, and I love the fact that he wants to do it. So yeah, if I can make it with him, I would definitely, because just for the simple fact that he wants to do it that bad. Yeah.
Hey, Dana, one last, I forgot to ask you about Junior. Do you have that talk like you had with Chuck one time? He's lost 3 in a row by knockout. I think he's lost 6 of his last 11 by knockout. People talk about him being the great boxer. He's getting knocked out a lot, including 3 times in a year. Do you think it's time for him to think about it?
Yeah, I obviously gotta. I don't like to do stuff like that tonight, but go home, think about it, take the weekend, and then matchmaking's on Tuesday, and talk about what we think for JDS. He's the nicest guy in the world. Love that guy, and yeah. Cool. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Jairzinho, congratulations on your victory. Obviously, another big name for you, a big finish as well. How did you feel about your performance overall tonight?
Thank you, sir. I feel great. This is what we were looking for, me and my team.
How did you feel after what happened in May, stepping in there tonight, I mean, was there any kind of added sense of, I need to do something special or concerns after what happened in the last fight?
I mean, if you lost or you got something happened, you got to accept. And one thing I know for sure is when I step back in the octagon, I had on my mind what I want to do, how I want to be, and I was sure I know I'm going to knock somebody out. In this case, it was JDS, but I mean, it's business.
How did you feel as the fight was playing out, right? Because his movement, he was staying away from you. He was making it tough to catch him. Were you getting frustrated at all, or did you feel patient? How did you feel as it was playing out?
I think Junior was exactly the way I thought he was to be. He moved a lot. He moves like a lightweight. So I was expecting that, just pushing the pace where I need to push the pace. So I got him there in the second round.
And you sat down and gave him a little respect afterwards. Did you guys share a conversation at all or talk to him?
Yeah, I just say thank you, and I appreciate him that he take the fight, because sometimes they offer you a fight and you can say no, and he accepts. So that make him a great champion, and he's champion level. And yeah, I'm an upcoming guy, and fight against him was really nice.
And last thing for me, you say you're kind of an upcoming guy. Certainly you had the setback, but where do you feel you belong in that division? I mean, do you feel like you're developing or that you're a contender right now?
I'm developing for sure in the division. I think now the champions fight's happening. It's happened, and Francis is the next guy. So in the meanwhile, I'm gonna be there, right behind the corner, winning fights, and yeah.
Trazinho, I wonder if you can just make a comment about Daniel Cormier. You've seen some of his career and what he's meant to the sport of MMA. In your opinion, how great was he as a fighter, and what do you think he's meant to this sport?
Daniel Cormier is, for me, he has an impressive career, and he does a lot for the sport. The fight he just did with Stipe was a lot of knowledge. He take a lot of chances. He's a short guy in the heavyweight division. And I see a lot of things that I can learn from those guys. Both of those guys deserve it to be the greatest heavyweight of all time. Stipe and Cormier. They did a wonderful fight, and I mean, it was great.
Hello. Oh, hi.
Chito, congratulations. Obviously, this is a big moment for you. Co-main event of a pay-per-view, big win. What's the feeling after the victory tonight?
It's a sweet feeling, It's making history for me, for my country, Not just the first Ecuadorian fighting for the UFC, but making big moves in a common event and finishing somebody that everybody was talking about, that had all the media behind. And, I don't buy anything of that bullshit. To me, it's all about work hard and fight hard. And when the cage is locked, it's when I'm having fun, when I let it go, and I'm happy. I'm in good spirits, and I can wait for the next one.
What was your mindset as the fight was starting? Cage door locks. I mean, do you have a chip on your shoulder? Because, as you said, he had the hype, he had all the attention. I mean, do you go in there angry, or do you have to let that stuff go?
Man, I'm a professional fighter. To me, it's like, it's a sport outside, the media, you gotta behave yourself. Try to behave yourself, I'm a moron, but whatever. But when it's about fighting, those things don't bug me, You gotta beat those guys in the way I did in order to get what they had or whatever like that, I'm not a guy that I'm chasing promotion or Instagram followers. All that shit came by fucking people up, and that's what I'm here.
You guys were feeling each other out. Looked like it was a great matchup. And then all of a sudden he starts taking a couple little wobbly steps, and it looked like there was someone. Did you pick up on that right away? I know Jason did, and he was yelling at it, but could you see there was something wrong?
Well, I see myself as a very good kicker. That's how I started my career. I was throwing a lot of kicks back in the day. Now I'm putting it together, my boxing and everything. But now watching the video, I throw a hard calf kick, and after I throw a calf kick, his nerve just shit happens, The same way Chandler go with Primus, and my boy Alex Perez beat Formiga, He kicked me really hard in the leg, but, my shit is stronger than his.
Nice. You got on top, landed some really big shots. As far as the stoppage goes, you feel like it was stopped at the right time?
The guy was snorking. When I landed the second elbow, he was making noises. He was out. And then when I heard him get in the middle, you can see his head bounce back. I see his corner saying, like, no, that was too early. We make eye contact, and I was like, you know that shit wasn't early. And the guy was pretty quiet, you know, all of a sudden. That guy was talking shit while we were getting ready to walk to the cage. He was yelling. He's slow. I was like, dude, it's a fucking fight. Like, if you want to try to get in my head, you got to try harder than that. So I was just like, the only way to make you pay is fucking your kid out.
Last thing for me, I mean, I know how you feel about the last fight and kind of what your winning streak should be and all that. So where do you feel like you belong right now? I mean, what do you think you deserve after this? That'd be a huge win for you. What comes next?
I believe I'm a solid top 10. You know, I've been making damage in the division. If, you know, what happened in the last fight get me pretty upset, get me pretty angry, and actually make me did what I did tonight. You know, I wasn't happy. I was pushing myself a little harder. I was being hard on me. I don't give myself vacation. I don't give myself, you know, more cheat days. I was like, it's time to dig deep, and you know, that's when I find myself even better. And I came to this fight with a mission. You know, I cannot let that happen again in my life. That was terrible. You know, they take half of my check. They caught a pretty sweet win streak, which I'm in 7 right now. You know, I don't care what they say, what they think. I'm in a 7 win streak. I break the Chinese guy.
Chito, aquí atrás en español, aquí, a tu izquierda.
Oh, yeah.
¿Cómo estás? Chito, para toda la gente que habla español, ¿cuál fue tu sentimiento al subirte al octágono luego de todo lo que se dijo antes de la pelea?
Pues para mí subir al octágono siempre es felicidad, siempre es tranquilidad, es saber que yo estoy trabajando, proveyendo para mi familia y lo que se diga o se haga antes de la pelea para mí simplemente es algo nada más, o sea, no le doy mucha importancia, ¿no? Para mí lo que importa es el performance dentro del cage, poner un peleón y partir a mi oponente, ¿no? O sea, yo no presto mucha atención a lo externo, yo me enfoco en mí mismo y me ha ido bien así.
Chito, como todo latino tiene la sangre caliente, ¿cómo aguantarse, cómo no caer en provocaciones, especialmente al ver que O'Malley salió con los colores de tu bandera como una manera de burla en el cabello?
Pues ya vimos quién fue el que salió con la burla más grande, ¿no? Y para mí esas cosas no me molestan, ¿no? Es muy difícil meterte en mi cabeza. Crecí en una familia que nos odiamos los unos a los otros y nos decíamos de todo. Con mis amigos somos así también, entonces para mí realmente es difícil que algo se meta en mi cabeza, ¿no? A mí me gusta pelear y cuando se cierra la jaula, pues salgo con todo.
Chito, I think a lot of people were going crazy about how honest you were that Joe Rogan's advice on his podcast helped you out. Can you tell us a couple more things you've gotten from listening to Joe Rogan?
I think Joe Rogan pumped me up pretty good. The way he talks about inspiration, motivation, hard work, and stuff like that. That's something that I really admire from him. He seems to be like a solid guy. And, you know, when he talk about things like that, you know, he's a pretty good motivator. The way he says, conquer your inner bitch, push yourself. And I remember a long time ago, they talk about the immigrant mentality. And I captured that pretty good because that's me right there. That's the meaning of being myself, you know. Coming from a small town in Ecuador, moving to California, my whole family, buying a house, and keep going forward, trying to achieve my dreams and keep my family safe and happy. Those things is what I am, you know. I'm an immigrant and I'm somebody that came to this country to take advantage for good, not for the bad, and just work hard, you know. Work hard will always pay off.
Did you talk to him while you were there? Did you ask him if you could be on the podcast?
That's a thing I will never do, you know. Everybody asking for that. Everybody want to be there because people want to be famous. People want to be talking Instagram. I'm not a person that I'm chasing that type of stuff. If he invite me one day, it will be a pleasure. I will love it. But I'm not a person that asks for those type of things. Like, hey, can you invite me there? It's a good question, but it's pretty silly when people try like that. You know, things when you want things, they will come to you.
You talked about during the quarantine, you just had time to train, dye your hair, and get tattoos. This is the biggest win of your career. Are you gonna get a special tattoo to celebrate?
I got a pretty big dragon tattoo in my leg. I gotta put some work on that, but I really don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna get. You know, I gotta talk to my tattoo artist. I have a couple guys, so I don't know. And you know what I'm gonna do is, you know, take my family out, spend time with my kids, because when I'm in camp, in all the quarantine, I was training like a maniac. I was running every day. I was hitting the back. I was You know, I was losing my head in a good way. I was just training like an idiot because there was nothing to do. Everything was closed, and I was might as well get in a crazy good shape. And you know, that's what makes you win fights.
You were waiting back there for us to continue the press conference, and I saw you on your phone. What are the people saying to you? What are they sending to you right now about your victory?
Oh, I cannot even count that right now. Like my phone explodes. Like my Instagram got shut down, my Twitter got shut down because I got way too many notifications, and that's pretty sweet. You know, when people recognize your hard work, your dedication. You know, Steve O was saying congrats. My boy Masvidal was saying congrats. So it's like it's pretty cool to get the support from people you admire and stuff like that. Kelly Slater called me earlier, and those things are pretty sweet. You know, those things count more to me than half stupid hype or shit like that. You know, when Conor said it better, real recognize real, and I like that.
Congrats.
Thank you, man. Okay.
Stipe, congratulations on another very, very hard-fought win. Give us your thoughts right now, kind of how you thought about how you performed tonight.
Yeah, I felt good. I feel like I did a good job. Could have did better. There's a lot of things I didn't do great, but I mean, listen, when you had two guys that fought each other 3 times, it's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna go perfect. Just happy I didn't start slow. I was happy when I got taken down, I got right back up and fought the takedown, and it was all good, man.
Some people had it even at 2-2. Some people had it with you up 3-1 going into the 5th. What did you guys think? Were you scoring it along, and did you think I need this 5th round to win the fight?
No matter if I'm up, up 4-0, I'm going for that 5th round. I don't care. So because you can never let it go to the judges. So I don't worry about that. At the end, I asked my coach, "What do you think?" But I feel confident. And when they said 49-46 with 2 of the judges, I knew I had it.
No question about it. Obviously, his eyesight's a little bit impaired. I'm curious. I mean, obviously, you've been through that as well. So, knowing that, I mean, do you feel bad that happened?
Yeah.
Is it just part of the fight game? What's your feelings on that?
Well, I felt bad. I wasn't trying to be intentional. I even told him like 45 times. I said I was sorry during the fight. And even during the fight, I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry." You know what I mean? But what you can do? He did it to me multiple times. Whatever. He said it wasn't on purpose, and like mine wasn't on purpose. I wasn't trying to. I honestly didn't realize I poked him in the eye until I looked up and I saw it on the replay. I'm like, "Oh, I totally poked him in the eye. That was my bad."
I know what you want next is some time with the family, but the leading discussion seems to be either Francis Ngannou or you got John Jones saying he wants to come see you. Does one of those stand out to you more than the other?
No, man. Right now, it's my birthday next week, so we're drinking a bunch of Modelo's.
Fair enough. Last thing for me, this was all about determining, in a lot of people's eyes, who the greatest heavyweight of all time is. With this win tonight, are you comfortable saying I am the greatest heavyweight of all time?
Yeah, man. We'll see on Monday then. Everyone's going to change their opinion, but I always get shit on it. Listen, man, I'm just happy to cement my legacy. Like everyone's talking about this legacy. Only reason I'm happy to cement my legacy is to show my daughter, if we have more kids, to show them that hard work pays off. Listen, if you do something, you put your mind and effort into it, you do good things.
Hey, Steve. Now that it's all over, I know there was some animosity leading into this one, but now it's over. Daniel's probably retiring. Is it safe to say you have a lot of respect for the guy?
I've always had a lot of respect for the guy. I think he's an amazing fighter. I wish him nothing but the best. Amazing ambassador for this sport. Great commentator. You know what I mean? I never had animosity towards the guy. Never, no ill will. You know what I mean? Of course, some of the things, he said I didn't appreciate, but listen, it's a game. He's playing the game. I don't play the game. Apparently, he told me I never play the game. So, but listen, I understand what he's trying to do. Listen, he didn't go out of left field and say something terrible. It just some of the things he said, just didn't sit well with me. But I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, what are you gonna do? It happens. But listen, I wish nothing but the best for the man. Honestly.
How big a part of the game plan was getting him against the cage whenever you engage the clinch? It seemed you do that quite a few times.
Yeah, I wasn't just. Yeah, it worked out well. Fuck. I wasn't trying to. I got him to throw him against the cage. I'm like, fuck, just beat him up here. Worked out well.
If round 2 hadn't have ended when it did, do you think you'd have finished him?
Yes, 100% I would have finished him.
You can just tell by how hurt he was?
Yeah, he was stumbling. Just like in the last fight, the second fight in the 4th round, I had him in the same spot. I rushed in too fast. I think if I would have sit back just a little bit, one step back, I think I would have caught him.
Did you think he was sort of still messed up in the beginning of round
Yeah,
3?
he was. I could see it. That's why I got to push it a little bit. But he also called me in the first round. I was like trying to slip and he hit me in the back of the head. It was not intentional. It was just he called me. I was like, whoa, and then I looked up like, oh, God, I can still see him. Thank God.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, man.
Stipe, you're regarded now as the greatest of all time. Do you think you have another level to get to? Like, are you kind of at a plateau, or do you think you can still go up?
Listen, it's not what I think. It's what you guys think and all the fans think. It's always, you might say something, and then he might say something totally different. So, listen, I'm just happy where I'm at. Listen, I've done a lot. And it wasn't just me, though. It's my coaches, my amazing wife, my family, my friends. They always supported me and backed me up no matter what. I missed a lot of fun stuff, especially family stuff. Man, it kills me inside. Missing a lot of stuff like that. And, it kills me, because the graduation parties, baptisms, this and that, and I couldn't go, and it would kill me. But the best part was no one ever judged me. They all supported me. They understood what I was doing. And it's like, how many times I want to tell it's great, but if it wasn't for the people around me that I surrounded myself with, my amazing family, friends, my coaches, and my teammates, I wouldn't be here.
Do you see yourself like adding? Did you add something to your game this time from the last time that you felt like you were able to do? Was there any tactical things you were able to do you weren't able to do before?
Yeah, not start like an idiot. I actually felt pretty good in the beginning of the fight. He took me down, but I got back up, which I was happy about. I was like, okay. Caught me off guard. We had a good front headlock. I was like, oh wow. But I wasn't pressured about it. I wasn't worried about it. But I felt good. It's just, something I did wrong, but that's why he's a great fighter. He made me second guess myself. I was making him second guess himself.
Stipe. Stipe.
Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight
Believe
for it. Fight for it.
Believe it or not, that happened once I lost. Anyway, you know what? We could hear those punches cracking loud. It was clearly an epic fight. Did you miss the fans when it was all over and they finally called your name?
It's a tough question. I think about that a lot because usually when I walk out, I get someone going, "You fucking suck," So it's kind of nice not to hear that. But in general, listen, if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in this amazing, have such an amazing, sport and all that. But I do miss the fans, because that's, it makes it's fun. But I hate to say it, but I don't feed off them. I just fight. But it was kind of weird, and having fans means I'm in a bigger cage. So I wasn't in a bigger cage, but it is what it is. But hopefully this calms down and we get fans back in the arenas.
With this victory, Francis Ngannou is there, but you've kind of swept the old guard. All of the contenders coming up, they tend to be new guys that haven't had their chance yet. Does it mean anything to you to say, I really did sweep the board of the last decade in terms of heavyweight contenders?
Yeah, been a decade. Really?
You haven't been, champion 10 years, but all the top guys who have been competing.
Dagger my heart, bro. Oh, Jesus. I'm joking. Yeah, man, listen, yeah, man, I'll fight anyone. I don't care. Listen, I love what I do. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Final question from me. Can you explain to us what is the reception like when you go back to the Firehouse in Cleveland?
They shit on me more than anyone ever shit on me in my life. They make me do things I don't want to do. It's all awesome. That's why I love the fire department. I love my brothers. They're awesome. They make me feel like one of them. There's I don't get any special treatment. I'm just one of the dudes, and no one ever second guesses it or says anything. I'm very lucky to be part of such a great department.
Did you see that the Las Vegas Fire Department came out?
My logo. It's pretty sweet, right?
Did you see it when you were driving up, or did someone show you a picture?
I saw a picture of it, yeah. That's badass. Dude, that's called love right there. It's brother. We're not in the same department, but it's all brother. We all fight the same fight.
Congrats, Stipe.
Thanks, homie.
All right, let's see if the second one works. Stipe, Jim Greasehaber, cage side seat. I want to pick up on the whole first responder thing because you made a lot of comments when COVID first happened, and we talked about it a little bit a couple days ago, but you have so many first responders and firefighters and people walking in there with you. How much do you feel that when you're fighting, and how proud does that make you to be able to get I know you do the coffee, you do so much with these guys. and women, and they're with you wherever you go. How much do you feel that right now?
It's awesome, man. It's just anywhere I go, you know, and I'm no better than anyone else. There's firefighters that are better than me, paramedics that are better than me, but I love all the support, man. They're just like, what's up, guys? You know, like, just something about the whole thing, man. No matter what city it is, you go you walk in a fire station, they treat you like one of their own.
And what about Cleveland? Not a lot of success on the sports side over the years, but I mean, not much going on
Apparently
there.
they got a heavyweight
sports-wise at all.
champion that's winning a lot of
Heavyweight
titles.
Champion. There you go. That's what I'm saying. So now to put
You should
yourself
sit down
there-
now for that comment. I'm joking.
Well, I was going in the right place.
I know you were. I was giving
For
you a
you
hard
to be the guy who's carrying that torch and kind of put an end to all that misery for Cleveland sports fans, that's got to feel good too, because you're one of them.
I mean, I know a couple years ago we won a title, almost won a World Series. So I mean, we're not too bad, and we're still decent. The Indians are one game out of first place. I mean, come on. The Browns are looking to look good. Hopefully, we have a season this year. I'm telling you. Listen, Kevin, I will take you down. There'll be another fight tonight, you and me.
And then last one for me, you've said you think about retiring after every fight, but you haven't mentioned anything. You look happy.
Hell yeah, I'm happy I won.
Happy, but I'm saying, like, usually you say you want to think about it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you're not saying that now. You're ready. Are you reinvigorated, rejuvenated?
I guess so. I don't know. Everything changes every day by day. You know, I'm gonna go home, hang out with my wife, especially my daughter, go swim in the pool, and just enjoy life.
All right. Thank you, man. Congrats.
Yes, sir.
Stephen right here. Kendrick Johnson, MMA Power Hour. Now that you got the belt, you got DC behind you, the trilogy behind you. Will we see you more active? Will we see you again before it in 2020? Or are you just gonna chill out?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna stay out for another year or so to piss people more off. You know, because my whole plan this year was to have a tear in my retina, and then a pandemic hit. That was my plan, so I didn't have to fight. But yeah, listen, man, I'm gonna go home, heal up, and then figure out what they want to do with me, and figure what's best plan.
With there being no crowd and stuff, you kind of have to be unique to kind of hype yourself up. Did that MGK kind of get you going a little bit more than normal today? I saw you had a little pep to your step when you came out.
Oh, geez, sorry. Yeah, definitely. That helps me a lot. Trust me. That's a great song. I love that dude. He's a good dude. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but when another man's trying to beat your ass, that kind of gives you the fight or flight syndrome, and you got to fight for that kind of gets me going a little bit too. But that song definitely. I love that song. It's everything about Cleveland.
And now with DC put behind you, and you won the rematch with JDS. Would you ever want to fight Stephen Struve? Just to everybody that stood in front of you, you say, I beat their ass one time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fight him. Listen, like I said, I'll fight anyone.
No, I'm saying,
Because I'm about to fight Kevin here if he keeps talking shit.
I'm saying from a legacy standpoint, is that a big deal to be able to say you beat everybody that stood in front of you at least one time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the legacy with that, dude. Listen, that was early in my career. I was naive, I was young. I thought I was unstoppable. And I'm glad that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was getting stopped like that in Nottingham.
And is there one person you have to see before you retire at this stage, since you got all these young lions that keep calling your name, like the Curtis Blades and stuff of the world?
Yeah, man. I'm doing something right. If I keep calling this old man out, right? Apparently I'm old. Everyone thinks I'm retiring. So goddamn, you guys even want me here? Like, you guys always talk about retirement. Like, let me be.
Congrats as always.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hey, champ, that's what I'm going to ask you about.
All right, schmo.
Congratulations on the victory. At this point of your career, what do you have left to prove? No one in the heavyweight division has successfully defended that title more than you. You are the GOAT. The boss man recognizes you as the GOAT. What do you have left to prove at this point of your career?
A lot of things have improved, man. I just keep winning. I like winning. Winning's fun.
What's going to motivate you for the upcoming fights in your career?
My family, my daughter. I want to make sure they have a great life. I want to make sure that they're taken care of. God forbid something happens to me, they'll be taken care of.
Was this the best physical shape you've been in the 3 fights with DC?
Yeah, I think it was. I think so. I felt good. I mean, everyone said I looked thin, but I weighed more than I did last time.
And the eye poke that he gave you in the first round, how did that one vary from the other ones he's given you in the other fights?
I mean, it hurt. I felt bad I gave him one. I didn't realize I did. Honestly, I was not trying to. Until I looked up and saw it replaying between rounds, I felt bad about it. It was not intentional. But yeah, it hurt, but I was good. I just needed some time. It was just burned for a little bit, and I was good.
Congrats, champ.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Nice mustache.
Oh, thank you. I have a question for you, but where's your mustache? You had a great one.
I know. It's called the wife, and she's Doesn't feel it sometimes. Yeah, like it starts like a Tom Selleck, and it just kind of gets out of control, and then I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go back out.
You're the champ. You can do what
I can do what I want. I'm the alpha of my house, not really, but yes, I'm gonna try.
Well, I was gonna ask though. In the first fight, of course, you got hit that big shot from DC that the fight ended with, but you also in this fight got hit. To me, it looked like very similar shots, kind of when you broke off from him, but you were just taking him better this time. What was the difference? Were you just prepared for it? Or?
Yeah, I knew it. Just it wasn't being an idiot. He did catch me in the first round. He did rock me for a split second. I kind of was wobbly for like a half a second. Then I got my bearings straight, and I was good. But yeah, I think I just knew what was coming, I knew what was happening. I saw it coming. That was what it was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. I want to be a guy that people look back on and go, at every step of the way, Daniel was a role model, he was a leader. And that's truly what I want to be remembered for.
Getting in a fight in the hospital is just nuts. I think Nick's missing some screws, man. Something's wrong with that guy.
I'm not playing games, I'm not acting out here. This is as real as it gets.
Kevin was 9 years old. He said, Mom, I'm gonna be famous one day.
Oh! He was like an overnight sensation.
He did tell me he gonna be famous one day, and that's what he did.
Knockouts Only brings you the best KO action from over 20,000 fights available on UFC Fight Pass. Each episode brings you a collection of classic KOs from across the combat sports world. Knockouts Only, available now on UFC Fight Pass.